Mark is 54. He's a director at a mid-size company. The kind of guy who's put in 20 years, coached his kids' baseball team, and never missed a mortgage payment. One Tuesday, HR calls him in. The word restructuring comes up. 20 minutes later, he's walking to his car with a severance check in one hand and a cardboard box in the other, holding a coffee mug, some photos, and a stapler he probably didn't need to keep. Here's the strange part. Mark isn't panicking. He isn't calling his wife in a cold sweat. He's relieved. Wait, he just lost his job in his 50s. He's supposed to be scared right now. He's supposed to be refreshing his bank account every hour and applying to jobs at midnight. That's how this is supposed to go. So why does he look like a man who just got good news? Here's the thing. Mark isn't some rare exception. He's part of a much bigger pattern that's showing up across the country right now. Gen X men, guys right around this age, are leaving the workforce early in numbers that don't match what we'd expect. Their savings aren't huge. Their mortgages aren't paid off. Nothing in the old retirement playbook says this should work. And yet, over and over, it does. There are real reasons behind this, and almost none of them have to do with being rich. It's not luck, and it's not one lucky guy. It's a set of shifts happening at exactly this stage of life, stacking on top of each other in a way most people never see coming. And the first reason alone explains why this generation is playing a completely different game than the ones before it. Here's the first thing nobody tells you. When a company lets go of someone like Mark, it almost never looks like a normal layoff. It looks like a deal. Companies know that pushing out a 54-year-old director is risky and expensive if they do it the wrong way. So instead, they offer a package, a buyout, a bridge, to help him get to retirement age. It sounds boring on paper, but it changes everything about the money. Let's look at the numbers. Mark was making $140,000 a year. That income got taxed hard, every single paycheck, at the highest rate he'd ever hit. Now picture the other side of the deal. He gets a severance payment, paid out as a lump sum. He might get months of health coverage through a COBRA subsidy, so he's not stuck paying full price for insurance. And because he's not earning a steady salary anymore, his tax bracket drops, sometimes by a lot. So the paycheck didn't just disappear, it got turned into something else. A pile of cash, taxed differently, arriving all at once instead of trickling in every 2 weeks. That single shift already puts more money in Mark's pocket than most people expect. But it's only the beginning, because right after his income changes, his expenses start changing too, and that's where things get even more interesting. Okay, but even with a lump sum and a lower tax bill, how does anyone survive on less money long term? That's the question most people jump to, and it's a fair one, but it misses something huge. Working a job like Mark's was never just about the salary. It was also quietly draining money every single day, in ways nobody adds up. Think about the $14 lunch he grabbed because he had 20 minutes between meetings. The gas for the commute, twice a day, 5 days a week. The work wardrobe that needed replacing every year. The extra car sitting in the driveway just so he could get to the office. Even the stress itself cost money, in late-night takeout, in "I deserve this" purchases after a brutal week. None of these feel like a big deal on their own, but stack them together, month after month, and they add up to a real number. For a lot of people, it's easily $800 to over $1,000 a month, just from the hidden cost of showing up to work every day. So when the paycheck shrinks, the spending shrinks too, often more than people expect. The job wasn't just paying Mark, it was quietly charging him the whole time. And once that charge disappears, something even bigger starts working in his favor behind the scenes. All right, but now Mark isn't adding new money to his 401k. He's not contributing every 2 weeks like he used to. So surely that account should start shrinking fast, right? That's what most people assume. But that's not how it actually works. Here's the part that surprises people. Mark spent his 30s and 40s putting money into that account during one of the longest stretches of market growth in modern history. That money didn't just sit there. It grew, year after year, quietly stacking on top of itself. Think of it like a snowball rolling down a long hill. Once it's big enough and rolling fast enough, pinching off a small piece here and there doesn't stop it from growing. It just grows a little slower. The snow keeps sticking, the ball keeps building, even while chunks are being pulled off the side. That's exactly what's happening inside Mark's investments. Even as he pulls out money to cover monthly expenses, the rest of the account keeps working, keeps growing, keeps compounding in the background. As long as the withdrawals stay smaller than the growth, the total can actually keep rising. This is one of the least understood parts of early retirement. The account doesn't have to keep growing forever, it just has to keep growing faster than Mark is taking from it. And there's one more piece that makes that even easier for him. So the snowball keeps rolling. But there's still one big question left. Every month, Mark needs real cash to live on. So where does that cash actually come from if he's not selling off big chunks of his investments to get it? This is where Gen X has something almost no generation after them will have. They're the last group caught between two very different worlds. Their parents had pensions, a guaranteed monthly check for life, no matter what the market did. Younger workers today mostly just have 401k accounts, and whatever they manage to save. Gen X sits right in the middle. Many of them worked long enough at one company to still get a piece of an old pension, even if it's partial. Some get offered a pension buyout instead, a set payment tied to those years of service. That guaranteed income might not sound like much on its own, but it changes everything about how the rest of the money behaves. Instead of selling investments every single month to cover bills, that pension check covers part of it. That means less has to be sold from the snowball. Less selling means the snowball keeps more of itself intact and keeps growing. It's a small piece of income doing a much bigger job, and it's about to matter even more once one of Mark's biggest expenses disappears completely. There's one number that quietly resets everything at this age, and most people never see it coming until it happens to them. Mark bought his house back in the late 1990s. Like a lot of Gen X men, he took out a standard 30-year mortgage in his 20s or early 30s. Do the math, and something interesting shows up. 30 years later, right around age 54 to 60, that mortgage finally gets paid off, right at the exact same time he's leaving his job. Think about what that actually means. Mark's mortgage payment was $2,400 a month. That's not rent, not property tax, just the loan itself. When that payment disappears completely, it changes his monthly budget more than his old paycheck did. Losing $6,000 a month in salary sounds terrifying. But if $2,400 of required spending vanishes at the same time, the real gap he needs to cover is suddenly much smaller than it looks on paper. This is one of the most overlooked parts of the whole picture. People compare old income to new income and panic at the gap, but they forget to look at what expenses are disappearing at the exact same moment. For a huge number of Gen X men, the mortgage cliff and the career exit line up almost perfectly. And once that big monthly cost is gone, there's still one more asset sitting quietly in the background, worth more than most people realize. So is this all just luck? Did Mark simply get lucky with real estate, the same way some people get lucky at a casino? Not really. It's not luck. It's timing, and it's a very specific kind of timing that a lot of Gen X men happen to share. Remember, Mark bought his home back in the late 1990s for a price that sounds almost fake compared to today's market. Since then, home values in most parts of the country have climbed for decades. He didn't do anything special. He just held onto a house through one of the biggest run-ups in home prices in history. Now picture what happens if Mark decides to sell that home, or even just downsize to something smaller. That decades-old purchase price gets compared to today's much higher value, and the difference can easily be worth several $100,000. Even better, a large chunk of that gain can come tax-free, thanks to rules built specifically for homeowners. So a house that used to be a fixed monthly cost, something Mark had to pay into every month, can turn into a large pile of flexible cash. money he can use, invest, or simply sit on. It's not a lottery win. It's just decades of ordinary home ownership, lining up perfectly with the moment he's ready to walk away. And there's still one more piece of the puzzle left to explain. Now here's a piece that isn't even necessary, but it makes everything else work even better. After 20 years in his industry, Mark knows things most people don't. He knows how the business runs, who to call, what mistakes to avoid. That kind of knowledge doesn't disappear just because he left the building. So a few months after leaving, a former colleague reaches out. Could Mark help with one project? Just a few hours a week. No office, no boss, no meetings that could have been an email. Mark says yes, mostly because it's easy and kind of fun. That small bit of consulting work brings in some extra cash every month. It's nowhere near his old $140,000 salary, and it doesn't need to be. It only needs to cover a small gap, maybe a vacation fund or some extra breathing room. This is the key difference. Mark isn't trying to replace his old income. He's just filling in small cracks with low-stress work he can pick up or put down whenever he wants. This kind of income shows up a lot with men like Mark. Consulting, freelance projects, a seat on a small board, a bit of advising work here and there. None of it is required. But when it's stacked on top of everything else already working in his favor, it adds one more layer of comfort. And that brings us to the most important part of this whole story. Now here's the part that matters most, and it's not the fun part. Mark's story only works because of a very specific set of conditions. Take away one or two of those pieces, and the whole thing falls apart. Picture a different Gen X man. He rents instead of owns, so there's no house quietly building six figures in the background. He never got close to a pension because he changed companies too many times. He's still carrying credit card debt, or helping pay for a kid's college, or supporting an aging parent. For him, losing that paycheck isn't a relief. It's a crisis, and sadly, that's the reality for a huge number of people in this exact age group. So this isn't some secret formula that works for everyone. It's not a universal trick hiding in plain sight. It only works for people who happen to have several specific advantages lined up at the same time. Home equity, some kind of pension, low debt, no one depending on them financially. Miss enough of those pieces, and early retirement stops being a relief and starts being terrifying. So don't look at Mark with envy, and don't look at your own situation with despair either. The real value here is understanding which of these levers actually apply to your life right now. And here's the encouraging part. Even if you're starting late, several of these levers, like debt, savings, or extra income, can still be built. It's not too late to start moving the pieces into place. If you want to keep building that fortress with me, hit the like button so the algorithm knows you value your time over shiny things, and subscribe for more strategies to beat the system. See you in the next one. There's another video linked right here that pairs well with everything we just covered. Check it out when you're ready, Spake. And as always, this video is for educational purposes only. Please consult a qualified financial advisor before making any major financial decisions. See you in the next one.